Good morning, team. We are back with another episode of Cajun Tiger Plays. I'm Cajun Tiger, and we are playing through Dyson Sphere Program. We are working our way toward leaving Ceti I, I think it is, that we're on. We set up an array here. We'll look at it in just a minute to an array here on this planet to do some hydrogen, create some hydrogen from oil that we found on this planet. There's a lot of oil here. We can look at that, see that there are several of these around the planet that are collecting oil, sending it in here, and we can see our oil is getting processed into hydrogen and energetic graphite. The energetic graphite is being used here and here for our power on this planet. We're going to steal some just in case we need it for our mech. And we do want to add, forgot to add some drones in these guys, so we'll add those before we leave. He's got drones, and all that hydrogen is coming here and getting slowly but surely, we hope, filling up here, and the logistics vessels from our homeworld are coming to get it. Now, eventually, we will have another interstellar logistics station on the other pole, and we'll bring in warpers that we can use, and then we can add logistics vessels on this side, which will allow more hydrogen to transfer. But before we do that, we probably want to build several more arrays of hydrogen. So we'll address that in a future episode. I'm sure we'll probably have to, just because we're going to end up running out of hydrogen. So for now, we are just about ready to head to, we're on Ceti II, not Ceti III. My apologies. We're going to head to Ceti I, where they have sulfuric acid oceans, and that will give us the ability to tap into that sulfuric acid. Again, we'll build another interstellar logistics station on the South Pole so we can ship stuff out from that planet. Remember, North Pole is inbound, South Pole is outbound, so we will orient ourselves, get our speed up here. While we're doing this, we will talk about our If You Know, You Know from last week. All your base are belong to us. This was a popular internet meme for a while. It is based on the game called Zero Wing. I don't remember, I did a little bit of research just to look it up. I don't remember playing the game. I think I either played one of its sequels or a game that's related to it, but or done by the same company or something. But it's one of those games that it was a pretty cool game, but it was plagued by some bad translations, and it just got funny, and people thought it was hilarious for a while, and so the meme became a thing. All your base belong to us. They set us up the bomb. So fun stuff. Go look it up if you haven't seen it before, and learn a little bit about Zero Wing. All right, let's find our equator and our pole. There we go. The pole is to our right. So, hey, I landed on the correct side of the planet for a change. Now, remember that we talked about this before. We are very, very low on foundations. So, before we get too much stuff set up, I am going to jump into high-speed mode. I'm going to set a miner up on some of this iron ore here, on some stone a little bit further away. I'm going to set up a smelting array for stack smelting for steel and 1-to-1 for stone bricks, and then I'll use our 2 assemblers to set up an array to build foundations. So I don't think you guys are that unfamiliar with all of that. So since you're familiar with it, I'll start by putting some solar panels down here, and I will go into high-speed mode while I do this so that we can get through it pretty quickly. We'll do our shout out and maybe talk about some other things while we are doing this. So high-speed mode, here we go. All right, we'll jump in here while we're doing high-speed mode and do our shout out for today. Today's shout out, we're returning to our discussions of TV, movies, and stuff like that. And today's shout out is for another 80s classic that I used to watch growing up called A-Team. If you remember A-Team, Hannibal, Face, I forget what the craze, Murdoch, and of course Mr. T as B.A. Baracus. Pity the fool, which I don't know that he ever said in the show, but he did say he didn't fly, and there were a lot of cool things in the show. I always remember as the first time as a kid, I remember watching a show and seeing people survive car wrecks that they really shouldn't have survived. One time they shot a Jeep, it blows up and the Jeep flips over, open top Jeep flips over several times and a guy gets out, walks away and just kind of shakes his head. But anyway, A-Team was one of the things that I chose for my couple hours of TV a week. It was definitely one of the shows I wanted to watch. So shout out for A-Team. Okay, before we wrap up, I wanted to jump in and say, toward the end of this project, or the end of this episode, I will complain about being over time. I always forget that when we have high-speed montage, I can change how fast we speed it up, so I can adjust the time to help us fit in time. So hopefully that's what I get to do for this episode, and we will end on time. Okay, we're back, and we have quite a bit of foundations to wait on, but we are getting close on our extra research. So let's jump into research, and we can add some more things. I think the first thing we want is this distribution range that allows the bots on our home planet to travel all the way around the planet. That will complete their range, and we can use those in other areas if we want. I think the next thing that makes sense is adding a 200 plus 200 to our logistics vessels, particularly. That will allow more stuff to get transferred between systems. And then after that, let's jump up here because I would like to get, for our use, we'll expand our inventory. And then we'll skip over these energy circuit, drone engine, and drive engine. We'll get those eventually, but I think we want to focus on having our logistics carriers move faster. Again, everything after this is all, oh, we do have another one of these we can do, so we'll add that in. Everything after this is all getting into the white science, so we can't do those yet. We will get to those soon, but we're not doing those yet. And then also the solar cell attachment, ray transmission, those will be more important when we finally start actually building our Dyson Sphere. So we'll do drone engine, and our queues are full. So when we come back, we'll have a few more things there that we can do. If we jump over and look at technologies, we will start working on our Dyson Sphere stress system and getting our way up to ionosphere. Here's our universe matrix. There it is. So we'll get those next. Those are the things that we need to do, but we do need Dyson spheres to be able to do them. So I'm going to grab some more foundations out of here, and we are going to do a couple things. First, we're going to come down here to our equator, and we're going to find this section right here. This is where we're going to build our first set of pumps that we will use for our sulfuric acid. So we'll put some foundations here so we have a nice smooth edge on this side, and grab our pumps. And oops, we were facing the right way to begin with. And we'll put 10 of these. Now the reason we're putting 10, and I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to do the math incredibly fast on the fly in my head, but 750 per minute is a little bit over 12 per second. So you see on the third line there at 75 per minute. So 10 of those gives us 750 per minute, which gives us the ability to do just over 12 per second, which is 12 per second is what our Mark II belt is doing. So we want a full belt. So we're going to put 10 of these down so we can get a full belt. And that will get our sulfur started. Tedious work of putting belts down. Let's put some Tesla towers. Let's see, one there. And then we can put, I think we can just do Nope, we'll need to, let's see, can we reach that far? I don't know if that one, oh, that, yeah, that'll reach, definitely. There we go. That will cover everything with just a couple of Tesla towers. Again, with us running a little bit low on things, it's making interesting design choices. So we'll put some foundations down on this side, and then we'll grab 10 more of these water towers, or water pumps, I should say, and that will give us another belt that we have for sulfur. And then we'll feed these belts into the planetary logistics station, and eventually it will make its way to the interstellar. And again, like I said, we'll be coming back to this sector because we want to be taking warpers. We want to be able to provide warpers for the logistics vessels so that we have logistics vessels in this sector that can take things back, as well as logistics vessels in our other sector that can bring things, that can come here and get things. So let's set up one more of these. There's another spot over here that we can use. Stop here and see if we have enough foundations to take care of this one. Let's see. Go here. It isn't always true. You can see there's a couple of little jagged edges here, but usually if you are going with the parallels along parallel to the equator, going with the parallels, you tend to get a better line than if you're not. So not always true, but looks like we're not going to be able to go that way. Okay, so we can go this way. Alright, so we'll do 9 there, and then 1 here. Come to the other side over here and drop some foundations here. And this will give us 4 full belts of sulfuric acid, which should be more than enough. Again, our delay is more likely to be our transportation more than it is our lack of actual sulfuric acid. Same with the hydrogen from the other planet, it was the opposite. We need to build more hydrogen. Well, it's a combination of both, I should say. We're going to need to build more hydrogen arrays, more of those crude oil arrays to create more hydrogen, but we also are going to need to increase our travel, which is, our travel transport abilities. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to expand the amount that our logistics vessels can carry, and then also speed them up if we can. And then that's the reason we want to bring warpers here, so that we have the logistic vessels can run both directions, from both directions to both directions. All right, this should be good here. That will get everything flowing that way. We will, well, we'll try. Take off and head to our pole and see what foundations look like up here. There's one other thing that I wanted to point out. We are using our miner here. We can take our foundations, and we are going to take our foundations. We're going to click this little button right here, Restore Veins. In this mode, laying foundations, in this mode, laying the foundations can restore the buried veins. We want to go the other way. We want to bury veins. Now, the cool thing about the advanced miner, I don't know if this is true with the regular miners, but we're going to bury these veins underneath foundation. And that means we can build on top of them. Now, the cool thing is, if you look at our process here, he's still covering 24 veins. He's still pulling stuff in. So it does not stop him from being able to pull things in, but it gives us the ability to add our solar panels the way we want to. Oops, well, if I can hit tab the correct number of times. Let's try that again. It lets us put our solar panels the way that we want to. There we go. So see, we can put solar panels underneath there, and it covers, they can just sit right underneath that that miner, and it doesn't affect it at all. Put them there. We will need a little bit of foundation over here. Cover this up. If I can get it positioned, there we go. And so there we go. Now we have solar arrays in all of those sections. No complaints from the miner, and we're still able to retrieve all of the mining that we need for our processes. So that's just a cool little thing I wanted to point out. We'll finish out these solar arrays just so we have plenty of power on this planet. I don't know that we necessarily need all of these, but we've got them in our inventory and we can take advantage of that. So let's come down here. Unfortunately, my OCD is not going to let me leave without taking care of the foundations up here at the poles, up at this pole anyway, because this is the one we're building on. So I'm going to do that with the foundation that we can get, and we'll see how far it takes us, and we'll talk about what's next once we get this foundation down. And if we run out of foundation, we will wait for some more in order to get all of this covered, because like I said, my OCD is gonna bother me if I don't. So when we're done here, we are done in this system. We do have another system nearby that I want to go to before we head back home, and that is because of the milestones that we're trying to get. There are a couple of items. We don't have any foundations. All right, let's get some more foundations. If we have any, we have barely any. So let's take a look. Let's see. We want to go here and zoom out. When we're done, we want to go to this system. Stalagmite crystals and fractal silicon are available on 2 of the planets there, and we'll figure out exactly which ones, but that becomes important because of these milestones. We need to mine fractal silicon and we need to mine stalagmite crystals. We also need to mine unipolar magnets. Unfortunately, I don't remember exactly where they exist, but I think, if I can find it, there it is. I think we have to go here, which is a long way away. That's our neutron star system, and I think that's where unipolar magnets get created. We will do that before the end of the series, but we are not going to be doing that right now. We need a little bit better travel speed and some other things that will help us get stuff done to be able to get there faster and not be limited like we are now with our power and our speed and stuff like that. So, all right, let's finish this out. Do we have enough? Probably not. But we can go collect some more in just a minute. We don't have enough. We need a little bit more than 500 more foundations. Fortunately, I built these extras. I don't know if I will have a chance to talk about it in the high speed mode that we do. We're not getting a lot of iron, a lot of steel, and I built these extras not knowing if they would actually get used. I did not do my formulas. Apologies for that. So let's see, we get just a few more here. That'll get us 300. Take a trip up. Probably should have gone into high speed mode to do this, but I didn't, and I did not do a save point at a convenient point for me to be able to do it. So you guys get to watch me do some OCD work. So we will put foundations down as we get them. What do we have? 1, 2, 3. Looks like maybe 5 or 600 that we need left. Well, that may take a little bit longer than I was hoping for, so yeah, we'll drop into a quick high-speed mode while we wait on foundations to get created. Okay, we are back and ready to go. We will head over to our other planet, our other system now. Pop out into our universe view and find our system that we want to go to. We can view this system, and I believe we want to go to the inner world first. That's got the stalagmite crystals that we need. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's this third world that has the fractal silicon. So we'll go to this one first, and then we can go to the third one, and then warp back to our home planet. So let's head to this planet. We can get into cruise mode, get our speed up. We will need to put a little bit of power down so that we can upgrade and add to our batteries before we get there. All right, and what am I supposed to say? I'm supposed to say engage for Captain Picard, hit it for Captain, oh good grief, Anson Mounts, Captain Pike. But I really like, as much as I like Star Wars, I really like Han Solo's punch it, Chewie.
Warp engine activated.
Let's put a little bit more energy in our mech so that we don't run out while we're doing stuff, and we can charge our battery as we need to. We are headed for Zeta Bootis 1, so we can't really scroll in and out. That's one of the things I wish you could do. I wish you could scroll in so that you could kind of do a first-person view almost as you're warping. I think it would make it a little bit easier to navigate, but
Warp engine deactivated.
we can get pretty close.
Cruise ended.
All right. What a pretty planet. Trees and water. Just a nice little mesa planet. I forget what this one's called. It is they usually tell you a praria. So there we go, praria. All right, we are looking for stalagmite crystals. There they are, right over here. And that means we were almost there. There's our stalagmite crystal vein. So we will mine a little bit of those from our mech and get our milestone. And we can, okay, that's enough mech. And we can pop out and pick Zeta Bootis 3. And we will travel there quickly.
Cruise mode.
We have the ability to, it's just 3 AU, so we can probably get there pretty quickly without having to worry about warping. We are getting low on power, so we do want to watch that. We don't want to run out of power while we're flying. So there we go. We are really close. I should have, if I had thought about it, we should power it up on Zeta Bootis 1 because it has better power generation capabilities than Zeta Bootis 3. Zeta Bootis 3 is a little bit, it's not as good. We'll look at it when we get there. The solar power and the wind power is just not great on Zeta Bootis 3. It is a frozen world. So we will get there in just a moment, grab our fractal silicon, I think is what they called it, and then we will head back to our home world and finish out for today as we gather things for our next adventure. Here we go.
Cruise ended.
All right, Zeta Bootis 3 is a glaceon world, so let's see if we can't travel around somewhere through here and find where's the fractal silicon. It is not anywhere. There it is. So if we head to the pole, it should be the exact opposite of us, I believe.
Flight mode.
We can
Cruise mode.
quickly jump into cruise mode and hopefully find our fractal silicon right over here. There we go.
Mineral depleted.
Grab a little bit of that with our mech, and that gets us our everything but unipolar magnets for that section.
Flight mode.
So we'll head back up to the pole, simply because the pole is the best place for energy. and we can throw down a handful of our solar panels, which will get us a little bit of power. We actually didn't look at it like I mentioned we would look at it, so let's just get these down and we can look here. Yeah, solar energy is 29%, so that's not going to be super helpful. Unfortunately, neither really is the wind power, because we only have 10 of them. But we can do it. We can figure it out and get our towers here. Let's see. Let's see if we do this way. Is that enough to cover us if we stay on the... How many can we do here? One there, there. This might be the best yet. We can get a lot of these covering us. Of course, it doesn't matter if we don't have the power to actually generate all of this, then it's not going to help us a whole lot, but that's okay. We'll get as much as we can. We can throw down more of the solar panels while we're here, which will just help. Can try anyway. There we go. We're not going to be building on this planet, so it's not as important to keep our spacing and all of those things the way we normally do. We just want to make sure we're getting power. And since we have the sun in that area, we can add power there. Let's see. There we go. Stay in the middle there. So we're almost at 100% sufficiency. That's not too bad. It will take a few minutes for us to get there, so we will again jump into another high-speed mode. All right, we are all powered up and we're ready to go. So let's pop out to our map and we will plot our course back home to Pyxidis. We want to go to Pyxidis 4 so that we can pick up some things and be ready to head to Pyxidis 1 to set up our new system of building titanium alloy in bulk. All right, let's get our speed up and then we will warp. Again, we're doing all of this so that we can use the iron and the titanium on Pyxidis 1 along with the sulfuric acid from the system we just came, or the world we just came from, Ceti I, a little bit ago. The sulfuric acid there, I'm going to go ahead and say punch it while we're here so we can get going. We're doing all that so we can use those things to build that titanium alloy, and then that titanium alloy will allow us to build frame material, which we need a lot of. So we do know for a fact that we also have some power issues on Pyxidis 04 that we're going to need to address soon, maybe even before we head to Pyxidis 1 to build stuff, but unfortunately we have some power issues because of the hydrogen stuff that's going on. So we need more hydrogen, or we need to come up with a better way of getting power, which again our eventual build that does, oh, this is a good spot for us to be in because we can look at it exactly right here. Our eventual build of the Dyson Sphere is going to help with what we need to do. But unfortunately, you can see we're really low on deuterium, and that's partly because we come over here, we're low on, well, we're not low on hydrogen yet, but we're getting there. So yeah, so we're going to see this gap, this lack of, spacing in here. This stuff is just not getting built. So we need more deuterium, we need more hydrogen. Look at all these power plants that are saying no fuel, and that's because we're expecting hydrogen fuel rods for them, and we don't have that. So it's just a lot right now that we have to power, and build. We do have hydrogen fuel rods getting created here, and we have hydrogen here as well. So we're doing okay. I guess we're doing okay on hydrogen now, but I think we're going to end up running into some problems soon. So while we're here, let's top off this guy, and then we are going to grab all the smelters we can take, and we're probably going to come back and grab more of those. One thing I do want to do, we keep running out of Tesla towers, so let's expand that to a full 5 like we did with our wind turbines. We do want to look at Pyxidis I for our power supply. Wind energy is only 7%, so we'll probably go ahead and put our wind turbines around the equator, but that's all we're going to use that for. We'll use a good bit of solar energy, and then again, we built these thermal generators for that as well. So let's grab, we'll have a full stack of those. Grab all the Tesla towers we can get right now, and then we'll get, obviously, as you guys know, always grab more foundation or more sorters. Don't need any more of those water pumps. As a matter of fact, we can put back some of the ones that we have because we just don't need them right now. We'll do the same thing with our oil refineries, even though I would love to be able to take those back to Ceti to get more hydrogen coming in. Let's see, let's come this way. See, we are still having issues here because of these circuits, so we'll address that as well soon. Maybe not right now, but maybe not in the next episode, but we'll get it soon. All right, let's get these guys. We definitely want 10 of these guys because they're the ones who are going to get stuff for us. All right, all of that. Let's see. Things going out of the planet go from the North Pole. So we need more foundations and more belts as well. And then we're going to need to set up for things to go out of the planet.
Flight mode.
Which is going to be interesting. Let me think here. How do we want to do that? Yeah, we can do that. That's fine. We are going to get our foundation first. Oh, you know what else we want to do while we're here? Let's do this first so that we don't run out of inventory space. We want to build more of these miners. So I would really like to build 20 more. Don't know if we'll be able to do that, but that's going to call for quite a bit of stuff, and we'll be able to get started, but we won't be able to finish. So let's do 10 at a time. So we'll get 400 of our grading crystals. 400 of those. Oops. I can't type. Oh, we don't have 400 to get. That's the problem. Okay. That's okay. So we'll get those in just a minute. We do need, for these, we'll need 100 of these, which means we need 400 of the carbon nanotubes. So we can get that while we're here. And then maybe we'll have enough to be able to get our, well, we can get 300 of our grading crystals, which gives us some. And let's just take those 69 as well. That gets us up. Oh, there we go. There's another. Oops. Well, I'm having trouble. There we go. 100 of those. Okay.
Flight mode.
We are overtime, and I am probably going to regret not saving at some point in the middle, but I'm going to say let's call it for today because I'm pretty sure we're going to be overtime. I did not track after we did our last high-speed section, so I'm not exactly sure how far overtime we are. I'm just pretty sure that we are overtime. So let me say, remember players, by Grabthar's hammer you shall be avenged. Keep building, team.